As you can see on the screen that the application was submitted on the 7th January 2025 and the final passport request for the visa stamping came on 7th February. Hey everyone, I wanted to make this video for such a long time and you would have probably seen from the title or thumbnail. So I'm going to talk about the super visa today. And before I proceed, I also wanted to share that I applied for my parents' super visa recently and it was approved in just a few weeks. As you can see on the screen that the application was submitted on the 7th January 2025. Biometrics were not required because they already gave it before for their previous visit visa application, which was unfortunately not approved. And then they received the medical request on January 31st and the final passport request for the visa stamping came on 7th February. So as always, I'm here again to help you guys in case you need any help or guidance. Please bear with me for a few minutes in the start as I cover the basic information and some introduction to the super visa application for those who are not very familiar to this. Let me start how the super visa application is different from the regular visit visa applications and which one you should apply. For the regular visit visas, a person can stay for up to 6 months from the date of entry, and the visa is mostly valid for 10 years or until the expiry of your passport. There might be some special cases when you are not given the multiple entries visa, so in such cases, you can only visit once for maximum 6 months, and you have to reapply in case you want to travel again to Canada. So please check the visa page carefully on your passport. But in case of super visa, which is also valid for up to 10 years or until the expiry date of your passport, the super visa holders can stay in Canada for up to 5 years without having to leave Canada or without worrying about extending your status every now and then. It gives you some peace of mind if you want to stay a little longer. But of course, not everyone might want to stay for this long, so they can go with the regular visit visa. The application process for both regular and super visa is mostly similar except a few things and some additional documents, but they are very easy to gather and you can easily apply online on the IRCC portal. So without any further ado, let's get started. Official website canada.ca. Click on English. Now click on Visit Canada. Apply for a visitor visa. Click on How to apply. Then you will see some questions which you need to answer. So why you are applying for a visitor visa? So for this today's video, we will select for a family visit, and then you have to tell that what is your family member status in Canada. So if the person who is inviting you to Canada is a Canadian citizen, select this. If he or she is a permanent resident, then you can select this option. So for today's video purpose, I will assume that the host is a Canadian permanent resident. Now the next question is, do you plan to visit your children or grandchildren for more than 6 months? Yes, because you want to apply for super visa. So it says that you may be eligible to apply for a super visa. And then click on find out how to apply for a super visa. So on this page, you have some background or introduction about the super visa. So a super visa lets you visit your children or grandchildren for 5 years at the same time. It's a visa that provides multiple entries for a period up to 10 years. Then scroll down, click on who can apply. So on this page, you can see the eligibility criteria, the health insurance details, and some other conditions. So let's talk about the eligibility very quickly. So the host who is inviting you to Canada, they must be your children or grandchildren. They must be a Canadian citizen, permanent resident of Canada, or a registered Indian, and they must provide one of the following documents here. You can read that. Must be 18 years of age and lives in Canada. They should meet or exceeds the minimum necessary income. And what is that? Just click on this link and you can see a table here. So for the host, let's assume that there are 3 members living in the house. So the total household income, they should be having $44,966. So this is the minimum amount of money you need to immigrate to Canada based on the size of the family. Also, there are some other conditions that the person must be living outside of Canada. So if you are the applicant, you must be outside of Canada when you are applying for the super visa, and you cannot include the dependents in this application. Next point is about the health insurance. So you must have a proof of your health insurance policy when you are applying for the super visa. Until few months back, there was a rule that you can only have the health insurance from a Canadian insurance company. But I think in January or February 2025, they changed it, and now you can have the health insurance even from the outside of Canada. But there are some conditions that if you are selecting any insurance company from the outside of Canada, they must be authorized by the OSFI. OSFI is the Office of the Superintendent of Financial Institutions. And this is the link if you want to check the list of the financial institutes who are, giving you the health insurance. Then for the health insurance, it must be valid for minimum 1 year from the date of entry. So let's say if you're planning to come to Canada on a super visa in December 2025, so you must be having the health insurance which starts from December 2025 and should be valid until December 2026. Should be paid in full or in the installments with a deposit. It should cover the healthcare, hospitalization, and repatriation. Should also have the minimum coverage of $100,000. And as a super visa holder, you should be having the valid health insurance policy while in Canada. So if your health insurance will expire before you leave Canada, you may need to renew it or maintain your health insurance during your stay. And also, you might need to show the proof of your health insurance when you enter Canada. Then there are some other conditions which IRCC will consider, which is your ties to your home country, your purpose of visit, your family and finances, the overall economic and political stability of the home country. So this was the background of the super visa. Click on this link, how to apply. Now on this page, they'll talk about the documents. I'll talk about the documents in the later part of this video anyway, so I'll skip that. The next link is apply online. So we have two options here, IRCC portal and IRCC portal new version. Some of you might be thinking that you should apply from the new version, but it is not always the case because there are some conditions. You can only and only use this new version if you met all these criteria. So let's say if you are 18 years of age or older, then yes, you can use this new version. If you are applying alone, so let's say only father is coming, mother is not coming, or just one person, let's say mother is coming, father is not coming, then you are eligible to apply from the new version. The third condition is that you have never applied for anything with us before. So which means that you never had any application before, you do not have any UCI number, you have never dealt with IRCC, so you can use this new version. And the fourth condition is that you are not using a representative, which means you are applying on your own. So in that case also you can use this new version. But in most of the cases of the super visa, there will be father and mother both in the application. And even for today's video's purpose, I'll assume that two-person are coming, so we'll use this IRCC portal. So click on this button. So on this page, it tells you that you can use this IRCC portal to apply for a visitor visa, for super visa for parents and grandparents, and for transit visa. So we are applying for the super visa for parents and grandparents. So we are good here. Then there are two options, sign in and register. So if you have the account, you can directly sign in. But if you do not have the account, you have to register first. So registration is very simple. You can click on this button, get invitation code, enter your email address. So this is the temporary email address I created for this video. So click on get invitation code. So this is the invitation code. You can copy this and you will be using this invitation code when you are signing up. So let's click on the sign up button, invitation code. Now enter the email address, enter the password, some details. So in this case, let's assume that I'm the host and I'm inviting my parents from India and I will be acting as a representative. So I'm creating my own account here. So this will be my details. I'm living in Canada. So my name, last name and first name. I'll give my telephone number. So let's just enter any random phone number. Click on sign up. Okay, let's change the password. I'll check my email and enter the verification code here. So this is the mail and here's the code. I'll copy this and paste it here. Terms and conditions. I accept. Close them. So this is your IRCC portal account. And here you will be creating the application for your parents or grandparents to invite them for super visa. So this is the end of the part 1 of the super visa application series, and in the next part I'll be adding the applicants into the account, meaning my father and mother, and fill out the complete forms and details for the parents one by one. So stay tuned for the next part and please like, share and subscribe to our channel Canada Dreamers. Thank you. So this was the actual reason which I added for my parents' super visa application. So it says that our son and daughter-in-law will cover all the expenses for our visit. It says that our previous TRV application was refused in November 2024. Hey everyone, this is the video for Super Visa Part 2, and in this part we are going to fill all the details for the applicants. But let me explain the situation a little bit. I applied for my parents' super visa recently, which means I became the host. I was the inviter and I also became their representative, which means that I filled all the details on their behalf. So we are filling the details for the applicants here in this video, and we have two applicants, my mother and my father. So please do not get confused, and I have tried to make it simple as much as I can. But in case if you have any questions, do reach out to me in the comment section. So let's get started. So let's start by creating the profile on the IRCC portal. Click on the first link, apply for a visitor visa or transit visa. Then there are some instructions. The first one is that make sure you are eligible to apply. The second one is that you should have these items ready before you apply, which is your passport and a credit card to pay the fees. Then it tells you that you should follow these steps to complete the application. So select why you are applying, answer the questions in the application, review your answers, and upload the required documents. Then pay the fees, and you have 60 days to submit the application. But if you do not submit the application within 60 days, all the information will be deleted from the system and you have to fill out all the applications and forms again. So click on I acknowledge and start application. So the first question is about the grouping your application, whether you want to group the application or not, which means that if you have more than one applicants, you should be able to group them. So for example, if you want to submit an application for yourself plus your spouse and children who will be traveling with you, this is super visa application, so which means that your father and mother both are coming. So there are two-person and this will be a grouped application. So I'll say yes. Then there are some instructions. The next question is select the type of the group. So I'll say family because obviously it's mother and father. Create a name. So it's optional, but I'll write parents just for my understanding purpose. Click on save and continue. So you can see that you have created a group named parents, and this is the group ID. You have 60 days to submit the application. This is your starting date. The application status is in progress. So here on this page, I will be adding both the applicants, meaning my father and mother. So let's start by adding my father first. Click on continue. So now the actual form has started. You can see some tabs on the top: purpose, personal details, application, activities, security questions, medical history, family information, contact information, summary, document, and fees, and then consent and declaration, and then final complete. So these all tabs you have to complete one by one. We are on the first tab, purpose, and each tab will have a set of questions which you need to fill or answer as yes or no. So let's see what we have here. The first question is I want to apply for a visitor visa or super visa. Then why do you need a visa? There are a bunch of questions, which means you need to select one from here. So for super visa, you have a straightforward option to visit my children or grandchildren for more than 6 months, and it also says super visa. So select this option, scroll down. Now you have to tell us more about what you will do in Canada and you have to include the dates. So this was the actual reason which I added for my parents' super visa application. So I wrote the main purpose as to visit our son and daughter-in-law who are permanent residents of Canada and to explore nearby attractions. They purchased a new house in 2023 and we would like to spend time with them in their first home and feel proud of their achievement. We plan to travel to Canada on September 1st, 2025 and return on March 31st, 2026. So here I gave the duration of 7 months because for super visa it has to be more than 6 months. And I also added that during this period we aim to spend a quality family time and visit popular tourist destinations in Ottawa, Montreal and Toronto area. Then you have to fill out the dates that when you will enter Canada. I'll say 2025 September 1st. And when will you leave Canada? 2026 March 31st. So these dates should match with your explanation here. And that's why your travel duration should never be like 6 months or 8 months or 10 months. It has to be proper date from and to. Then your UCI number. So if your father had any application with IRCC before, so you can fill that. Otherwise, it's optional. I did fill the UCI number for my father's super visa application because had a travel visa before, but it was refused. But for now, I'm leaving it blank. Click on save and continue. So it says that you are applying for super visa. If this is not what you are expecting, then change your answer. But yes, we are applying for super visa. There are some specific requirements which you can read, that you must apply from outside of Canada, which means your parents must be outside of Canada. You must be the parent or grandparent of a Canadian citizen or permanent resident, have signed the letter from your child or grandchild who invites you, which means you should have a signed invitation letter. And then you must have the health insurance from a Canadian insurance company or any other financial institution which is authorized by OSFI. So we have already talked about OSFI and medical insurance during the introduction of Super Visa. Then the documents which you need and the information which you need to fill. So we are okay with this. Click on continue to application. Representative, yes, I will select yes because I became representative in my parents' Super Visa application. So fill the details accordingly. Who are you in relation to the person? Family member. So here my name, last name and first name, telephone type cellular, Canada, US. Then I'll write any random phone number. So I don't know. I'll just write any number. Then the mailing address, Canada. Enter any random address. So I don't know. I'm just typing any random address. Then it's filled your email address. So I'll just enter this email address which I created here. Save and continue. Now the travel document information of the applicant. So here you will be adding your father's detail because remember we are first adding father in the group. Surname Gupta. Give a name of first name. I'll write SK. Date of birth. Let's say 1965. January. Mail. Save and continue. Travel document passport. Regular. Who issues the passport? India. Nationality India. Travel document number. So I'll just write random passport number. Date of issue of the passport. Let's say January 1st, 2020. Make sure passport is valid long enough. Yes. Date of expiry of the passport. Then I think it should be December 31st, 2030. Then few questions. So are you a lawful permanent resident of United States? No. Have you held a Canadian visitor visa in the past 10 years? No. Do you currently hold a US non immigrant visa? No. Are you traveling by air? Yes. Save and continue. Now, some questions about the citizenship and the places where you have lived, which means the applicant has lived. So, the country where the applicant was born, India. So, my father was born in India. City, I'll write Delhi. He was born in Delhi. Are you a citizen of more than one country? No. So, remember all the information we are filling for the applicant, meaning your father. Which country and territory are you citizen of? India. I'm citizen of this country since birth. Yes. Save and continue. Do you have a valid national identity document? Yes. It will be Aadhaar card for Indians. Document number. So your Aadhaar card number. Confirm your document number. Date of issue. Let's say same 2020 January 1st. And select the country who issued this document, India. Save and continue. Name used in the past. If your father had any name in the past, so you can say yes and you can add the details. You don't have to provide any proofs for this, but I'll say no because my father had the same name since the birth, so no. And save and continue. Countries and territories of residence. So this is the contact information page. Select the country of territory, again India. Street address, any random Indian address. Let's say Delhi. Postal code, it's optional, so you can fill if you want. Otherwise, you can leave it blank. I'm just typing any random address here. Is your mailing address same as your residential address? Yes. But if it is no, then you can provide the mailing address again here. I'll say yes. Then list your current country or territory of residence. Then add all other countries and territories where you have lived for the past 5 years for more than 6 months. So for my father, it's just India, so I'll add that. Country India, status citizen from since birth. So I'll write his date of birth here. This is where I currently live. Yes, save. I don't have any other information to add, but if you do, then you can add that by clicking on this add button. Click on save and continue. Now the biometrics. So in the last 10 years, have you provided your biometrics? So if your father has already provided the biometrics to IRCC in the last 10 years, then you do not have to provide it again. And since my father already gave the biometrics to IRCC before for his visit visa application, and that's why we are not providing the biometrics again. So I'll say yes, that we have provided the biometrics. So there is some message that if you have already given the biometrics in the last 10 years, they remain valid and can be reused for your current application. Do you wish to provide your biometrics again to increase the validity, because the biometrics has the validity of 10 years, but that's fine. I do not wish to provide the biometrics again. Click on save and continue. Now, who is inviting you? Here, I will be adding the host details. So, I am the host here in this application. I wanted to invite my parents. So, I'll add my details here. The bit relationship to you, family member, mailing address. So, it has to be a Canadian address. So, yeah, a random address here. Telephone type cellular, Canada, US. Any random phone number. I think, okay. My email address. Has someone else also invited you? So it's up to you. You can add your spouse as well here. So I was the host in the supervised application for my parents, but I also added my wife's detail here. But it's up to you. You don't have to. If you don't want, you don't have to. So just to keep it simple, you can say no and click on save and continue. But there's one more thing. If you are selecting yes here, so for the invitation letter, you have to design the invitation letter accordingly and you both have to sign there. So I'll talk about it in the document section. Click on no here, save and continue. Finances. So this is one of the difficult questions for some of the applicants, that how much money you should write here in order to get your visa approved. So there is no hard and fast rule. There is no particular set limit for the finances, that how much you should have or how much you should show. The general thumb rule is that it should be sufficient to accommodate your overall stay in Canada. And also there are two options. You can either say that applicant is bearing all the expenses, or you can also say that someone else is providing money to the applicant, which means host is providing the money to applicants during their stay. So what I did for my parents' supervisa application, I added the amount here which my father and mother both are bringing together to Canada. So let's say 15,000 Canadian dollars. And yes, this is the actual amount which I filled in my parents' supervisa application. We did attach their last 4 months of Indian bank statements. And along with that, there is a second question, that it's someone else giving you the money. So we said that yes, we as a host also take the responsibilities of their stay in Canada. So click on yes, and then you have to provide the details, that who is giving the money to applicants. So this was the detail which we provided in the application. Let me just expand this. So it says that our son and daughter-in-law will cover all the expenses for our visit, which means that me and my wife, we both became their host, and that's why we both have our names on the invitation letter. So our son and daughter-in-law will cover all the expenses for our visit, including the flight tickets and living costs. They have a combined savings of this much Canadian dollar in their Canadian bank accounts. So you can mention the amount whichever you have in your bank accounts in Canada. To support our application, we are attaching their Canadian bank statements as well as our Indian bank statements for the reference. So just to show a little bit more amount, me and my wife, we both added our name here and promised to bear all the expenses. And that's why we both signed the invitation letter and we both signed the financial responsibility document, which we'll talk about later. So if this looks good, click on save and continue. But if you think that your parents already have the enough money in their home country, so you do not need to provide the explanation here and you can simply say no and this amount should be enough. But I'll say yes, provide the details and click on save and continue. Now the next page is on information about education, work and other activities. Let's see what questions do we have here. Post secondary education history. Have you ever studied at a post secondary school? Yes. You don't need to have a completed degree or diploma, so that's fine. Now you need to provide the details, so click on add name of the school or institution. I'll write ABC Institute. So this will be the name of the institute where your father went for studies and you should provide his highest education credential here. And then you can select the year from into. So I'll just fill any random year. Let's say 85 July to 89 April level study. So these are a bunch of options. You can select whichever is applicable in your case. Field of study. So I'm just selecting science general. Then the address. This is the address of the university. India. Let's say this one, ABC Road. And you should enter the address including the house number, building number if applicable. So just fill the whole address. City, Delhi. Save. And if you want to add more education credentials, you can again click on plus button and you can add that. But this one is sufficient for me. Military or police history. So did you serve in any military, militia, civil defense unit? So if your father has been in these kind of work history, so you can say yes, otherwise no. Now the next section is about the work or activity history, which means your employment, your father's employment, and you have to provide this detail for the last 10 years. Click on add. So he's a businessman. I'll just add that detail here. So let's say he started working from 90 January and it's ongoing. We have option here business, job title. So there are several options. So for simplicity, I'll just choose cashier, company name. So you can write the business name if he's a businessman. Otherwise, you can fill the details accordingly. Main duties. So I'll just write cashier or you can say owner. Now the address of your firm or the place where you are working, which means where father is working, country India. Again, some address, ABC Street, Delhi. So just provide the whole address, including the PIN and other details if applicable. Click on save. So I think this is fine. This is from 1990. It's more than 35 years. So you only have to provide the details for last 10 years. But in case here you need to add more details, let's say you are providing only 5 years of employment history. So you can add more details by clicking on this add button. But here I have already covered 35 years, which is fine. So click on save and continue. Now the travel history. During the past 5 years, have you traveled to a country or territory other than the one where you are a citizen or where you live now? I'll say no for my father's travel history because he did not travel within last 5 years outside of India. But if it is yes in your case, you can say yes and add the details about his travel history. I'll say no. Click on save and continue. Now a few more questions on the travel history. Have you ever stayed in Canada beyond the validity of your status? No, because yeah, he never came to Canada. But if it is yes in your case, you need to provide the explanation. I'll say no. Now, have you ever been refused a visa or permit, denied entry to, or ordered to leave any country or territory? I'll say yes because my father applied for regular travel visa to Canada and it was refused in 2024 and I have to provide the details here. So this was the actual detail which I filled for my father's super visa application. Let me just expand this. It says that our previous TRV application was refused in November 2024 due to the concerns about the financial situations. So we saw the refusal letter and there were some points regarding the rejection. We have significantly improved our finances by breaking some fixed deposits. So in our previous regular visit visa application, we showed some amount in the fixed deposits as well. But we thought that instead of showing the amount in fixed deposits, we can show directly in the bank accounts. So we had to broke some fixed deposits for my father and mother. But I don't think it is necessary, but we just did not want to take any risk because we were applying for the second time. So we improved our finances by breaking some fixed deposits, receiving a monetary gift from our son. So to show some more amount in their bank accounts, I also transferred some amount in my father's and mother's account. And it says that who is inviting us to Canada, which means that I'm the host, and collecting pending amounts owed to us by customers and acquaintances. Additionally, all the expenses will be covered by our son and daughter in law, which means me and my wife. We also have strong ties in India, including two daughters, ensuring we will return as planned. So, there was one more reason for the rejection letter of the previous visit visa application, that they do not have sufficient family ties. So, we were trying to challenge that as well. And also, you can see that I tried to write as much as I could. So, if you had any previous rejection before, you can write the explanation according to your situation or in your own words. I showed mine because I think that this might be helpful. Now, if everything is fine, click on save and continue. Now, there are some security questions. So, have you ever been committed any crime? No. Have you ever been arrested? No. Have you ever been charged for any criminal offense? No. Have you ever been convicted for any criminal offense? No. Click on save and continue. Few more questions on security. Are you or have you ever been a member of associated with any political party? No. Have you ever witnessed or participated in the ill treatment? No. Save and continue. Now, medical history. Have you had a medical exam performed by IRCC authorized panel physician within the last 12 months? No, because their previous visit visa application was the regular visit visa application and they were not required for the medical exam. And also they did not had this medical exam in advance. So I'll say no. But if it is yes, then you have to provide the IME number. So let's say no. Click on save and continue. Now some more questions about medical history. In the last 2 years, were you diagnosed with TB? No. In the last 5 years, have you ever been in close contact with a person with TB? No. Save and continue. Few more questions on medical history. Are you currently receiving dialysis treatment? No. Drug or alcohol addiction? No. Mental health condition? No. Syphilis? No. Save and continue. Now we are on the family information page. Marital status, married, date of your marriage. So let's say 1990, January 1st. Name of the spouse, which means my mother's name. Her date of birth. So let's say 70, January. Country of birth for your mother, India. Present occupation. You can select the option which is applicable in your case. I'll say homemaker. Is their address same as yours? Which means do your father and mother live at the same address? Yes. And for this, it's better that in the document section you provide at least one ID which has the same address for both your mother and father. Will your spouse or common law partner accompany you to Canada? Yes, because yes, she will be coming with my father. And you need to answer yes, even if they both are not traveling together. So click on save and continue. Now the information about child or children. Do you have any biological, adopted, or stepchildren? Yes. So add the details about children. I'll just write my name, date of birth. Let's say 90. Relationship, son. Country of birth, for me it's India. And does this child have the same address as you? No, because I'm in Canada. So I'll enter my Canadian address here. Again, random address. If this child is not in Canada, will they accompany you to Canada? I'll say no because I'm already in Canada. Click on save. And if you got more child or children to add, so you can do that by clicking on this button. Click on save and continue. Now here you need to provide the details of your parents, which means applicant's parents, my father's parent. So if the applicants do not know that who their parents are, they can simply click on this button and go to the next page. But I can fill the details here because my father knows this information. So click add. First I'll add my grandfather's name, relationship father, and here you need to provide his date of birth. So let's see any random date of birth. And if you do not know the exact month and date, which is fine, you can just select unknown. And by clicking on this button, you can say if they are still with you or not. I'll select this, but if they are still with you, you can fill the details. So, and if they are deceased, you need to provide the exact date of death. So I'll select a date here, and here you cannot select unknown, so you need to know the date. And then country of birth for your grandfather. Click save. Now I'll add my grandmother. Relationship mother, date of birth, I'll say unknown. Occupation, I can say homemaker. Does this parent have the same address as you? Yes. You do not need to provide any ID or any address proof for your applicant's mother or father, so which is fine. Will this parent come with you to Canada? No. Save. So we are done with the parents detail of the applicant. Just click on save and continue. Now the language, your native language or mother tongue, English. Can you communicate in English or French? I'll select English. What language do you want us to use? English. Save and continue. Now the email address. So here your father's email address. Confirm your email address. Save and continue. Telephone number. So cellular, other, I'll provide the Indian phone number, any random phone number. Click on save. We are done. Save and continue. So this is the summary page. You can see all the details which you have filled so far for your father. You can expand all and you can review all the details one by one. So if everything looks fine, go to save and continue. Here you can see some instructions and the list of the documents which you need to provide. I'm not going to talk about the documents as of now. We'll talk about it later. And what I'll do is I will return to the group table because remember we have only added father to this group application. So now we will do the same thing for mother. We will add her to the group and fill all the details. So click on return to group table. Okay, so we are back on the manage group page and we will add the another applicant which is your mother. So click on add member. So here you can see the blank information. Click on continue to add your mother. Now you will see the same set of questions again. So let's complete them all one by one. So remember this is for your mother. I want to apply for a visitor visa or super visa. Then there's the option for super visa, which is this one. To visit my children or grandchildren for more than 6 months, super visa. Tell us about what you will do in Canada. So you can write the exact same reason which you wrote for your father. So I've just copy pasted the same purpose here as well, which says that to visit our son and daughter in law who are permanent residents of Canada and to explore nearby attractions. They purchased a new house in 2023 and we would like to spend some time with them in their first home and feel proud of their achievements. We plan to travel to Canada on September 1st, 2025 and return on March 31st, 2026. During this time, we aim to spend a quality family time and visit popular tourist destinations in Ottawa, Montreal, and Toronto area. Now, the dates when you will enter Canada and when you will leave Canada. So, enter the exact dates here. So these dates should match with your main purpose. Now the UCI, if you know the UCI, then you can type it, otherwise you can leave it blank. Save and continue. Then there are some instructions about the super visa, documents you need, information you will be entering. Click on continue to application. So now we are on the representative page and you can see that this information is already filled because we filled the same information for applicant 1 in the same group. So for a group application, we cannot have two different representatives. So if everything is fine, click on save and continue. Now here you need to enter your mother's information. So last name and first name, date of birth. Let's say 70 January 1st, female. Save and continue. Passport, regular, India, India, passport number. Confirm your passport number. Date of issue. So 1st January 2020. Date of expiry of your passport. So let's say 30th December 2030. Lawful permanent resident of United States? No. Have you held Canadian visitor visa before in the past 10 years? No. Currently hold a valid US non-immigrant visa? No. Traveling by air? Yes. Save and continue. Country India. City Delhi. Citizen of more than one country? No. Which country or territory are you citizen of? India since birth? Save and continue. Do you have a valid national ID? Yes. ID number? So this can be your Aadhaar number if you are from India. 234567890. Date of issue. Date of issue of your national ID, which is your Aadhaar card. Who issued this document? India. Have you ever used any other name in the past? No. But if it is yes, you can say yes and add your previous name. You don't have to provide any document or proof for this. But I'll say no and click on save and continue. Now the country or territories of residence. India. Select the address. So you can write the address where the applicant lives or your mother lives. Delhi postal code. So you can write postal code. If your mailing address is same, then say yes. Otherwise, you can type your mailing address here. Now list your country or territories of residence where you have lived in the past 5 years. So for my mother, it will be India. India citizen from. So it will be since birth 1970. This is where I currently live. Save. And if you have more countries to add, you can add again. Click on save and continue. Biometrics. In the last 10 years, have you provided your biometrics? So yes, my mother provided the biometrics. So I'll say yes. And I do not wish to provide the biometrics again because my mother does not want to give the biometrics again. She gave it recently last year, which is fine. So save and continue. Who is inviting you? So I'm the host. I'll add my details here. Relationship, family member, billing address, Canada. So I'll write my Canadian address here, which is a random address. Cellular, Canada, US, telephone number, email address, Has someone else also invited you? I'll say no. But in my actual application, I said yes, and I added my wife's detail here because we both signed the invitation letter and the financial responsibility document, which I'll talk about in the document section. So for this video purpose, I'll say no. Save and continue. Now the finances. How much money do you have for your stay in Canada? Exactly, you can write the same information which you filled for the applicant one, which is your father. So I'll type 15,000 Canadian dollars. And is someone else also giving you the money? Yes. And I will write the exact details again here. So this is the exact detail which we added for applicant one and also in my actual application when I was doing this for my parents. So it says that our son and daughter-in-law will cover all the expenses for our visit, including flight tickets and living costs. They have a combined savings of over this much Canadian dollars, so you can write whatever amount you have in your Canadian banks. To support our application, we are attaching their Canadian bank statements as well as our Indian bank statements for reference. Save and continue. Now you have to fill the information about the education, work, and other activities. So let's fill the education history first. So we have added education for mother. Scroll down. Military or police history, no. Work or activity history. So here you will be adding the employments. So for my mother, I'll write homemaker. Ongoing homemaker address Delhi. So do not forget to provide the complete address. Click on save. So remember you have to provide the activity history for past 10 years. So for my mother, she has been the homemaker since 1990. If you want to add more information, just click on add. Save and continue. Travel history. During the past 5 years, have you traveled? No. But if it is yes, then click yes and add the details about the country which you have visited in last 5 years, which is very simple. Just click on add and just fill this form. But for my mother, I'll say no. Save and continue. Now, a few more questions about travel history. Have you ever stayed in Canada beyond the validity? No. Have you ever been refused a visit or permit or denied entry to order to leave Canada? Yes, because my mother, her previous visit visa application was refused. So I'll say yes and provide the details. So these are the exact details which I provided for my parents' super visa application. And it says that our previous TRV application was refused in November 2024 due to the concerns about our financial situations. And here we are challenging the refusal. And I'm saying that we have significantly improved our finances by breaking some FTs, receiving a monetary gift from our son who is inviting us to Canada, and collecting pending amounts owed to us by customers and acquaintances. Additionally, all expenses will be covered by our son and daughter in law. We also have strong ties in Canada, including two daughters, ensuring we will return as planned. So it can change in your condition. This is just for your guidance. So now click on save and continue. Now, some questions about security. Have you ever committed any crime? No. Have you ever been arrested for any criminal offense? No. Have you ever been charged? No. Have you ever been convicted? No. Are you or have you ever been a member or associated with any political party? No. Have you ever witnessed or participated in the ill treatment? No. But for if any of the questions, if you answer yes, you can say yes and provide the details as much as you can. But for my mother, it's everything is no. Click on save and continue. Medical background. Have you had medical exam performed by IRCC? No, because she never gave the medical. Click on save and continue. More questions on medical background. In the last 2 years, were you diagnosed with tuberculosis? No. In the past 5 years, have you been in close contact with a person with tuberculosis? No. Save and continue. More questions on the medical. Are you currently receiving dialysis treatment? No, 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 no. If you want to select yes for any of these, you can select yes. You do not have to provide any extra details at this point. So for my mother, everything is no. Click on save and continue. Now we are on the family information page. Marital status, married. Date of marriage, let's say 1990. I don't remember what I filled for father here in this application because it's all random dates. Make sure you enter the same dates. Name of your spouse. So here I'll write my father's name, Gupta SK. Date of birth. That's your father's date of birth. I think I wrote 1970. No, it was 1965. It's all random dates, so that's why I don't remember what I filled for my father. So make sure you filled all the right details here. Country of birth, India. Occupation, I think it's businessman here. Is their address same as yours? Yes, because they both live at the same address, and we also provided the Aadhaar card and passport which has the same address. But if it is no, then that's fine. You can say no and select the address where your father lives. But in my case, I'll say yes. Will your spouse or common law partner accompany you to Canada? Yes, they both are coming together. Save and continue. Children? Yes. For the simplicity, I'm just adding my name here. Date of birth, let's say 91, January 1st. Relationship, son. Country of birth, India. Does this child have the same address? No, because I'm in Canada. So I'll write this random address. I'm sorry, I don't know who lives at this address, but this is only for this video purpose. Scroll down. If this child is not in Canada, will they accompany you to Canada? No, because I'm already in Canada. Save. And you can add more child or children here. Click on save and continue. And now details about the parents of the applicant too, which means parents of your mother. So if she doesn't know about her parents, you can simply click on this button. But if you know about the parents, you can fill the information here. So these are all random information I filled about my mother's parent. So if everything is fine, click on save and continue. Now the language, I'll select English for everything. Save and continue. Email address, here you can write your mother's email address. Click on save and continue. Now phone number, so you can write your mother's phone number, or maybe you can again give your father's phone number, which is fine. Save, save and continue. So this is the summary page. You have filled all the information. You can review all your answers here, but if everything is fine, you can go to the next page, which is save and continue. So the next page is about the documents, and these are some instructions on the top, and this is the list of documents which you need to provide. And what I'll do is I'll just go back to the group table. So you can see that we have filled the details about both the applicants. So this is the super visa application. I'm the host. I'm inviting my father and mother. So I have added my father here, filled all the information, and then I came back to this group application, added my mother, and fill all the information for her as well. Now the next and final thing is prepare all the documents for both of them. So this was it. We have successfully filled all the information for both the applicants, meaning my parents, for this super visa application. Now our next step is to prepare all the required documents and to pay the fees. So stick around for the next part and I'll see you there. And if my videos are helpful, please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you. And this is how we wrote the invitation letter. This is the letter of financial support to my parents, Mr. Sanjay Gupta and Mrs. Gita Gupta. We are also attaching their Indian bank account statements for the last 4 months. You can also see the other documents which... Hey everyone, this is the part 3 of Super Visa video series in which I'm going to show you the end-to-end process of sponsoring your parents or grandparents for Super Visa in Canada. In the previous two parts, I talked about the basic introduction, the difference between the regular or super visa applications for Canada, which one would be the right choice for you, how you can create an account, and how to completely fill all the details on the IRCC portal. So I would suggest you to watch those two videos to get familiar with the whole process. But in today's video, I'm going to talk about the documents. And yes, this is the most important part for any kind of visa application, because if you get anything wrong, any documents wrong, or fail to provide any required one, your chances of getting approval would be less, or I would say it's almost zero. Well, I'm not trying to scare you, but you need to keep certain things in mind when you are dealing with the IRCC and forms and the applications. I'll show you exactly what I did for my parents a few months ago. What documents did I upload, how to prepare them, and in case if you do not have something which is required, like the marriage certificate for your parents, what documents, what alternate documents you can provide in such situations. So stick around and watch this video completely till the end, and share the good news in the comments below. So as you saw in the previous video that we filled the online application forms for both the applicants in the Super Visa application. Now today we are going to focus on the documents. Yes, I'm going to show you all the documents which I uploaded for my parents in the Super Visa application. And remember, just like the application forms, you need to upload the documents separately for both the applicants. So we'll start with the father first. I'll click on continue. It will take me to the document page because I have completed all the information on the application forms. First, you have some background and introduction to the documents which you need to upload. So it says that the list of documents you need to give us depends on what you apply for. So we have applied for Super Visa. So the list which we are going to see at the bottom is tailored to the Super Visa application. So everything which you need to upload is listed in the supporting document section below, and then you need to pay and submit the application. Then some information about the file size and accepted format, that your each individual file must be under 2 MB, and the format, these are the accepted format, but I prefer PDF format all the time. And now when you scroll down, you will see all the supporting document list. So here you have some mandatory documents which you need to upload, and if you scroll down further, there are some optional document as well. So scroll up and look at the documents one by one. The first document which we have here is letter of invitation. So what is letter of invitation? So this is the letter from the person who is already living in Canada and wants to invite their parents or grandparents from other countries. So in this case, I wrote the letter of invitation to my mother and father and asked them to come to Canada. I'll just click here to know that what details IRCC wants me to add on the letter of invitation. So it says that it's a copy of the letter from the person or business inviting you to Canada. The letter is known as the letter of invitation and must be written to you from the person or business. What the letter of invitation should state depends on what you exactly apply for. For instance, if you apply for a super visa rather than a visitor visa, there are a few more details that you will need to provide in the letter. And what you need to provide, that you must provide a written and signed promise of the financial support for your parents or grandparents for their entire stay in Canada. So you need to provide that letter of financial support of your parents. And the second one is that you need to provide the proof that your income meets or is above the low income cutoff, LICO. And what this LICO is, LICO is low income cutoff. There is a separate table on the IRCC website. I can show you that. So here you can see the LICO amount based on the person living in the house. So let's say if there are 4 persons living in the house, and you are in the area where the population is over 500,000. So this is the minimum household income you should have to be eligible for the super visa application. Now just let's go back to the application form here. And what else they need? It says that generally a letter of invitation should state that, okay, so we should include all these details in the letter of invitation: the purpose and the length of a visit, the nature of relationship between you and the person inviting you. So I'm inviting my parents, so I need to prove that they are my parents. I can provide my passport for that. The contact information of the person inviting you, which means my contact information and whether they are the Canadian citizen or the permanent resident. So now I can show you the letter of invitation which I prepared for my parents for this super visa application. This is the letter I have named SK Geeta, which means my father name and mother name, and the letter of invitation. You can also see the other documents which I'm going to talk about in a bit. So let's open this letter of invitation. And to be honest, this is not going to be just one page document. You are going to include other pages as well to satisfy all the criterias by IRCC. So on the top, I have the name of my mother and father. This is going to be the common document. That's why I named it SK Geeta. So this is the common document for my mom and dad, which means that I will upload the same document for my mother section as well. So on the top, I have put the names, their date of births, the type of application is super visa application. Then I have my name and my wife's name here, and then the address and email ID, phone number. Why I'm including my wife's name here is because we both, me and my wife, are promising to give the financial support to my parents. So that's why I want to have my name as well as my wife's name on this invitation letter. And this is how we wrote the invitation letter. This is the heading: Dear Canadian Immigration Officer or Visa Officer, we, Arpit Gupta and Aishi Gupta, are providing this letter of invitation on behalf of our parents, Sanjay Kumar Gupta and Gita Gupta, whom we wish to invite to Canada. I, Arpit Gupta, was born on this date, and my wife, Aishi Gupta, was born on this date. We both are a Canadian permanent residents and currently reside at this address in Ontario, Canada. We both can be reached at, then we provided our phone number. Here we are providing our little bit of the background of like where we work. I, Arpit Gupta, employed as a this at this company, and while my wife Aiji Gupta works as a designation, and this is the company name. Through this letter, we are inviting our parents, Mr. Sanjay Kumar Gupta and Gita Gupta, to Canada from 1st September 2025 to 31st March 2026. So remember, in the second part, we talked about these dates. So these dates you have to be make sure that you don't change the dates. So we are inviting them from 1st September 2025 to 31st March 2026. Mr. Sanjay Gupta was born on this date and Mrs. Gita Gupta was born on this date. They both currently reside in India at this address. Their contact numbers are this and this, respectively. The main purpose of the visit is to see their son and daughter in law, who are permanent residents of Canada, and to explore nearby attractions. We purchased a new house in Ottawa, Canada in 2023, and they would like to spend some time with us in our first home and feel proud of our achievements. They plan to travel to Canada on 1st September 2025 and will return on 31st March 2026. During this period, they aim to spend quality family time and visit popular tourist destinations in Ottawa, Montreal, and Toronto area. Now, after that, I am writing that Mr. Sanjay Kumar Gupta is a businessman in India. Then I'm talking about his assets and properties in India and how much money he holds there. I'm providing the INR amount and also converting it to Canadian dollars. And in addition, he owns a two-wheeler motorbike. So I'm just adding that as well, just to add some ties under his name. Then I'm talking about my mother. My mother, Mrs. Gita Gupta, who runs a home-based small business. Then I'm providing the name of that business in India, which is valued at this much Indian currency, and this is the Canadian currency. Together, they hold a significant financial assets. Mr. Sanjay Gupta has fixed deposits of worth this much amount, while Mrs. Geeta Gupta also has fixed deposit of this much amount. Both of these can be liquidated at any time if required. Additionally, they have combined investments of this much amount in multiple insurance policies like LICs in India. As responsible citizen of India, both diligently file their income taxes returns every year. Then I'm saying that during their visit, together they will be bringing some money around this much Indian currency. So this is the actual amount which I provided in their actual application. So they are bringing this much amount to Canada for their emergency needs. However, being their son and daughter-in-law, will bear all the expenses here in Canada, and we are also attaching the financial support letter. They will be living with us at our own house and will be visiting all the places with us. We, Arpit and Ayushi, together have enough funds. So this is the Canadian dollars in our Canadian bank accounts to accommodate their complete trip to Canada. So this is the the letter of invitation, and how I'm writing is like you need to modify based on your circumstances or your situations. But to summarize, what I'm doing here is you can just write the headers and these portion on the top. But what I'm doing is here I'm just giving some background or introduction of the applicants and about me and my wife. Then here I'm just giving more background of the applicants. In this paragraph, I'm covering the purpose of visit which they asked. So if I look into the requirements, it says that it should include the purpose of the visit. So I'm doing that here. And also it says that the length of a visit. So I'm including that as well. Then it says that oh sorry. So after that, I am including the ties to the home country. So generally ties, they ask for the ties to your home country. So here in this paragraph, I am including the ties. And here in the end, the last paragraph, I am including the details about that how much money they are bringing to Canada, and how it's me and my wife who will be supporting them for their accommodation in Canada. And this is where we wrote both the names, my name and my wife's name. And what we actually did, we printed this first page and did the hand signature. I signed this letter by hand, and even my wife signed the letter by hand. And then we scanned it and again attached it with the letter of invitation document. So this was just one page, but then I can scroll down. This is the second page where I'm including the promise of giving the money, the financial support to my parents. So the top part is same. I have the applicant's name and date of birth, the type of application, my name and my wife's name, address, phone number, and email ID. This is the heading that this is the letter of financial support to my parents, Mr. Sanjay Gupta and Mrs. Gita Gupta. And how I'm writing, I'm saying that dear Canadian immigration officer or visa officers, we hope this letter finds you well. We, Arpit Gupta and Aisha Gupta, are writing this to confirm our financial support for Mr. Sanjay Gupta and Mrs. Geeta Gupta during their temporary stay in Canada. They plan to be in Canada from this date to this date for tourism and spending some family time with us. Just giving some background again. As their son and daughter in law, we are committed to providing financial assistance to ensure that their stay is comfortable and stress free. We understand the financial responsibility involved and hereby confirm that following details. So, there are 2 points. Number one is commitment of the financial support. We, Arpit and Aishi, are a married couple and fully committed to providing complete financial support for Mr. Sanjay Gupta and Mrs. Kita Gupta during their temporary stay in Canada. Second point is proof of sufficient fund. So we need to prove that we have sufficient amount in our Canadian banks. So together we, Arpit and Ayushi, have combined bank balance of this much Canadian dollar, which we believe is more than sufficient to support Mr. Sanjay Kumar Gupta and Mrs. Geeta Gupta during their stay in Canada. Our detailed bank statements are attached under the proof of funds section. Below, we are also attaching the employment confirmation letter and previous year's notice of assessments that to prove that our income is above LICO, low income cutoff. This is the summary table which I formed. Here we have three accounts together. This is my individual account, this is the joint account, this is my wife's individual account, name of the institute. Then IRCC asked for the last 4 months of these statements. So we are providing 4 months of bank statements, and this was the amount in all these three banks, and this is the total amount. So this is how we proved that this much money we already have in our bank account, and by providing the remaining documents, we proved that our income is above LICO. Then we are writing that we are fully aware of the financial responsibilities associated with Mr. Sanjay Kumar Gupta and Mrs. Geeta Gupta's stay, and are prepared to cover any unforeseen expenses that may arise. Should you require any additional information or documents to support our commitment, feel free to reach out at these numbers. Thank you for considering this request. We are looking forward to their visit to Canada and trust that they will have a wonderful and memorable experience. Then again, even in this, we printed this page did the hand signature. Me and my wife, we both did the hand signature on this page, because this is something, it's better to do the hand sign. Then on the next page I have the index page, and in this I'm saying that what documents I have on each pages of this letter of invitation document. So the page 1, the invitation letter, which I have already shown you on the top. Second page, letter of financial support, I have also talked about that. Then this is the third page, the index page. Then on the fourth page I added my employment confirmation letter. On the fifth page, I added my notice of assessment. And I think I forgot to mention that it's not the latest notice of the assessment. I added my recent three notice of assessment in the letter of invitation. So that's why, like from page number 5 to page number 13, I had my three notice of assessments there. Then after that, I provided my wife's employment confirmation letter and her notice of assessments. You can see yes. Then PR card. So why PR card? To prove my status in Canada. Then my wife's PR card to prove her status in Canada. And then remember, IRCC also asked that we must provide the proof for relationship. So for that, I provided my passport. So my passport has my wife's name Ayushi Gupta, my father's name Sanjay Kumar Gupta, and my mother's name Geeta Gupta. So that was the great document for that relationship proof. So you can see that letter of invitation. This sounds like just one letter, but in that one letter, there are so many pages which we uploaded to fulfill all the criteria from IRCC. So I'm going to close that, and we'll open the forms again and attach the letter of invitation. Okay, so we can just minimize this section. You can see that we have successfully uploaded the letter of invitation, and this is the name of the file. Let's move on to the next section, next document, which is the proof of income for the children or grandchildren. Let's expand this to understand what details they need. So submit documents that shows the super visa applicant's child or grandchild, which means I, meets the low income cutoff minimum in the form of one of the following documents. So this is kind of basically the same thing which we provided for the letter of invitation. And what they need? They need a copy of the most recent notice of assessment. So most recent, so I'm just going to provide latest notice of assessment for myself and for my wife both, and says one of the following. So you don't need to provide everything. If you don't have the notice of assessment, you can provide your latest T4 or T1 or anything else from this if you have anything else. So let's find the document which we are going to upload here. This is the document, SK Geeta Proof of Income Children. Uh, and again, this is the common document for both the applicants, my mother and my father. That's why I named SK Geeta Proof of Income Children. Open this and let's see what do we have here. So this is the cover page. We have the applicant's name and date of birth, the type of application. This is the heading, proof of income, children and grandchildren. This document contains the following. So this is the index page, what we are going to attach. Arpit's passport. Why? To provide the relationship proof. Okay. Then next we have my wife's employment confirmation letter. Then my employment confirmation letter. Then my wife's most recent notice of assessment and my most recent notice of assessment. So that's it. It's not very long document. So I provided my passport here on this page. Then next page I provided my wife's employment confirmation letter, my employment confirmation letter, my wife's notice of assessment. Only one is enough. So the latest one, and then my most recent notice of assessment. So this was it. This is the proof of income document, and I'm going to upload that. Let's click on add file, proof of income, children, upload. And you are good with this second document as well. Now, third one is the national identity document. So, for the Indians, it's basically the Aadhaar card. And if you are from any other country, you must be having some other national identity document. You can upload that. And if you want to read, this is the requirement. But I can show you something here. As you can see that this is the national identity document for my father. You can see the name SK, national identity document, and I have separate national identity document for my mother. So there are two separate files. For this section, I'm going to upload my father's document, so I'll select that. And if you are curious, I can just open that and show you. So this is the Aadhaar card of my father. Close this. So we are done with the national identity document. Next one is passport. Again, it's very simple. I don't have to read or explain anything. Passport or travel document. If you want, I can show you the passport page here. SK passport. So it's different, and my mother's passport is different. I'll just open and show you. So this is just one page document, front and back. This is the front, this is the back on a single page. I'll upload that. So let's upload SK passport. Okay, we are good with this. Now funds, proof of funds. Okay, so here we need to read the requirements. If you won't be getting financial support from someone during your stay, then you need to provide these documents. And if you will depend on someone financially during your stay, then you need to provide these documents. So, if in case the applicants are not getting any support from the people in Canada, which means they have their own money, they are bringing their own money. So, what they can do is they can provide their own bank statements from their home country for the last 4 months. And you don't have to provide all three. It just says that one or more of the following pieces of evidence. So the past 4 months of bank statement should be enough. But in our case, we wrote that our parents, the applicants, will be financially dependent on us. So if you will depend on someone financially during your stay in Canada, then provide a letter of statement from the person that you will depend on while in Canada, which means that I have to provide a letter to my parents saying that I'll bear all the expenses. The letter of statements must include the amount of money this person will be providing, plus the proof that this person also has the sufficient funds. And this can be one of the following. Remember, one or more. So you don't have to provide everything. You can just see accordingly what documents you have easily available and provide that. The first point is that proof of a Canadian bank account, that we have the Canadian bank accounts in our name, proof of student or education loan from a financial institution, bank statements, because this is very easily available for the past 4 months. So we, I think, provided the bank statements of the last 4 months to prove this proof of funds. And you can read that. I'm just going to open the form which I prepared, the document, sorry, which I prepared. Proof of funds. Yeah, this is the one. And this is the common document for my parents, mother and father. That's why I name it SK Gita, proof of funds. Let's open it. The format is same. On the top, you have the applicant's name, date of birth, type of application, then my name and my wife's name, address, phone number, and email ID. This is the header, proof of funds, letter of financial support for Mr. Sanjay Kumar Gupta and Mrs. Gita Gupta. This is basically kind of very similar document which you have seen in the letter of invitation, except that I have added the additional information here, which is the information about my parents' bank account in their home country. So I'm not going to read the top part because it's the same which I have already shown you in the letter of invitation section. And after that, I wrote that additionally, Mr. Sanjay Kumar Gupta and Mrs. Geeta Gupta are bringing over 15,000 Canadian dollars combined in their bank accounts, in their saving accounts, in the form of cash, which can be liquidated anytime if needed. We are also attaching their Indian bank account statements for the last 4 months, and here I am providing the the conversion rate of on that day when I was submitting the application. So this is my father's name, Sanjay Kumar Gupta, my mother's name, Geeta Gupta. This is the institution name column. So I provided the bank name where they hold the account, statements from September to December, last 4 months statement, and this is the amount which was available in their bank accounts. So I provided the amount in INR as well as in Canadian currency. We are fully aware of the financial responsibilities associated with Mr. Sanjay Kumar Gupta and Mrs. Kita Gupta's stay and are prepared to cover any unforeseen expenses that may arise. Should you require any additional information or documents to support any commitment, please feel free to contact us at these numbers. Thank you for considering the request. We are looking forward to their visit to Canada and trust that they will have a wonderful and memorable experience. Then we have our name date, and yeah, we printed this form, this page we signed by hand, I signed this letter and my wife signed this letter, scanned it and attached again here. Hope this is clear for you guys. Next, I have the index page. So yeah, you can see I have provided bunch of documents and proofs. So let's see, what do I have here? Relationship evidence. I don't want to miss any opportunity to provide something. So I provided my passport to prove the relationship between me, my wife, my parents, because my passport is the centralized document, I would say. It has all the names. Arpit's employment confirmation letter, because this is the proof of funds document. So we need to tell them that how that I'm employed and I'm getting a salary from this employer. Then Arpit's bank statements last 4 months. Same documents for my wife, employment's confirmation letter and the bank statements of last 4 months. Then this is the joint bank statements. Me and my wife, we have a joint account, so we provided the bank statements on from that account as well. Next, my father's income tax returns and bank statements. So most recent tax return and last 4 months of bank statements of from their Indian account. My father's fixed deposits and proof of their investment policies. Then the same documents for my mother as well. Her latest income tax return document, the bank statements of her last 4 months, then the fixed deposits and proof of investment policies. So these were the documents which I provided under the proof of funds section. I'll just close this and go back to the application. I'll upload the file, proof of funds. Okay, upload. Minimize this. Now, use of representative form, IMM 5476. I see this option here because I chose the representative in this supervise application. If you do not select any representative in the application, then you will not get this option to upload the document. But since I did, I need to upload a proof of, I need to upload the use of representative form. You can download this IMM 5476 form from the IRCC website easily. I'll just show you the filled form, IMM 5476. And yes, this is also going to be the separate documents for all the applicants. That's why I named it as SK IMM 5476. Let's open this. If you are familiar with the IRCC forms, then probably you might have seen this form before. But just to quickly summarize that, this is a 3-page document. There are 4 sections basically, section A, B, C, and D. Section A is about the applicant information. So I'll fill my father's name here, Gupta Sanjay Kumar, my father's date of birth, and if you do not have anything to fill, type NANA. This is the UCI number because we had the UCI number from our previous rejected visit visa application. Then section B is about the representative. So if you are appointing a representative, you need to fill this section B. Name of the representative. Since I became the representative, so I wrote my name here. I'm a family or friend, so that's why I checked this box. The next page, you can see it's a scanned copy. Why it's a scanned copy? Because I signed here. what else I have here? So on this seventh question, they are asking about the contact information about the representative. So I fill NA, where it was like I had nothing to fill. Then the address, province Ontario, Canada, postal code, telephone number, email ID. This is the date, and here I signed. So I printed this form after filling everything. I wrote the date from my hands, and I did the signature. Section C is if you're canceling the appointment of the representative. So it's not. So that's why I wrote NA. Section D is the declaration which has to be signed by the applicant themselves. So this is for my father. On this page, my father wrote the dates and did the hand signature. So I sent him this page 3 alone. He printed this page, did the hand signature, scanned the copy, and sent it back to me. So that's how I arranged page 1, page 2, and page 3. And for my mother's use of representative form, page 1, page 2 was exactly same. Only the page 1 was not same. Page 1 we have to fill the applicant's name here. Page 2 was exactly same, and page 3 I had my mother's signature here. So I hope you are clear with the use of representative form. I'll just upload that. Use of representative for my father. Relationship proof. Okay. So what they accept: a marriage certificate, an official certificate naming you as a parent. So I have both. I have marriage certificate, which has all the names, and I also have my passport, which has all the names: my name, my wife's name, my father's name, my mother's name. So let's see if I can show you that. Relationship, yeah. So proof of relationship, SK Gita. It's basically going to be the same document for my mother and father. Open this. So yeah, as you can see, I uploaded my passport here, front page and back page. It has all the names: my father's name, mother's name, and my wife's name. Then on the second page, I added the marriage certificate. So it has my name, my father's name, my mother's name, and my wife's name. So it has, so these two documents I provided. Let's close this one and upload the document. SK Gita proof of relationship. Okay, minimize this. Now the marriage certificate of the applicants, because this is super visa, and I'm applying for my mother and father together. So IRCC just want to see that they are actually married. But what happens if you do not have the marriage certificate? Yes, I did not have the marriage certificate for my parents. So what I did, I'll just show you that. Open the document, SK marriage certificate, and I have separate letter for my mother. I'll show you why. My father and mother, they did not have the marriage certificate. I wrote this explanation letter, you can say. The format is same. On the top you have the applicant's name, date of birth, the visa type. This is the heading: proof of marriage, alternate documents. My father is writing this application, and he is saying that I hope this letter finds you well. I'm writing this explanation letter to you regarding not having a marriage certificate. I, Sanjay Kumar Gupta, was married to Geeta Gupta on this date in India. We have been happily married for around these many years now, and we have three beautiful children together. Then I'm writing very basic information like name and date of birth of the children. And I'm saying that our son, Arpit Gupta, is the one who is a Canadian PR now and inviting us to visit him in Canada. Since I do not have the official marriage certificate from the government, I'm providing you the other official documents to prove my marriage with my wife Geeta Gupta. Below is the list of documents I am providing for the same. So, what my father is providing here, he's providing his passport, his wife's passport, and his son's passport. So, in his passport, his name is there and his spouse name is there, which means my mother's name is there. Then, in his wife's passport, wife's name is there, my mother's name is there. Then, her spouse name is there. So, Sanjay Kumar Gupta. And in my passport, the father's name is Sanjay Gupta and mother's name is Geeta Gupta. So that way, we provided three official documents to prove that they are actually married. And this is how you can attach. This is my father's passport, my mother's passport, and at last, my passport. And we have all the names here. And it actually worked. And what I did for my mother, just changed the language a little bit. I wrote like I, Geeta Gupta, was married to Mr. Sanjay Kumar Gupta, and some wordings here. So if this is okay, I'll just go back to the application and upload the marriage certificate. SK marriage certificate, upload. Medical insurance proof. Yes, you need a medical insurance if you are applying for the super visa. And this medical insurance should have the coverage for 1 year or above. It's not like that if you are visiting for 2 months or 6 months, you will get the medical insurance only for that duration. You have to have the medical insurance for at least 1 year. And if you are staying only for 6 months here, what you can do is you can contact to the insurance company, and they will provide you the refund for remaining 6 months. But in the beginning, you have to attach the medical insurance proof for whole 1 year coverage. And in case if you are wondering what documents I provided for that, so I can show you that one as well. Proof of medical insurance. So this is going to be common document for both of them. So I wrote it SK Kita, proof of medical insurance. Just one page of document. And I got the health insurance, the travel insurance from Manulife. So this is the document. It's for 1 year. I have hidden the dates so you cannot see that. And this is the sum insured, $100,000, which is the minimum requirement they should have. So okay, I'm going to upload this one now here. Medical insurance, SK Gita, proof of medical insurance. Click on upload, and we are done. So you can see that we have uploaded all the mandatory documents. I have also shown you that what you have to write in your documents, how you have to prepare. Now the only thing is left is the optional document. In that optional documents, I did not upload anything for the consent, personal information and employer letter, but I did upload a document for the additional documents. So this is additional documents, which means if you have anything else to add or to explain to make your application strong, you can use this section. So I'm going to show you what I uploaded for the additional documents. And again, this is going to be the common document for my mother and father. Let's open that. On the first page, on the very first page, I have the index. The formatting is same. Applicant's name, date of birth, type of application. This is the heading, additional documents, and it says that letter of additional documents to support this visit visa application. Or I think I should say that super visa application. I think I missed that, but that's fine. So I'm saying that dear Canadian immigration official, visa officers, this document contains the following additional documents to support our super visa application to Canada. And what does it have? Number one, we have the itinerary, the purpose of visit. Then we have the details about the previous visit visa rejection and how we are strengthening this current super visa application. Then we have some documents to prove the ties to home country. This is the summary page for the home ties. Then I'm providing some individual documents for the home ties. So this is like my father's ties to home country, and here I'm providing my mother's ties to home country. And at last, I'm providing the home ownership proof of myself here in Canada, because in the invitation letter and in the proof of funds, I talked about that I own a house here in Canada. So I'm just providing that proof as well. So let's see, itinerary. The format is same, itinerary, and it includes the purpose of visit as well. Dear Canadian immigration official, visa officers, our intended travel dates to Canada are from 1st September 2025 to 31st March 2026. Throughout our stay, we plan to reside at our son Arpit's residence located at this address in Canada. Arpit along with his wife Ayushi Gupta recently purchased their first home in Canada. The main purpose is to visit our son and daughter-in-law who are a permanent residents of Canada and to explore nearby attractions. They purchased a new house in 2023 and we would like to spend some time with them in their first home and feel proud of their achievements. We have enclosed all the necessary documents as proof of their property ownership. We plan to travel to Canada on September 1st, 2025 and return on 31st March 2026. During this period, we aim to spend quality family time and visit popular tourist destinations in Ottawa, Montreal, and Toronto area. In summary, our visit to Canada serves two main purposes: visiting our son and daughter-in-law in Canada and engaging in tourism activities, exploring cities like Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto, etc. We appreciate your consideration of our visa application and are committed to adhering all the regulations during our stay. And the name of the applicants and the date. So this was the itinerary. Then next we have the details about previous visit visa rejection and how we are strengthening the this current super visa application. So this is the format. This is the heading. We are writing, dear Canadian immigration official, visa officer. We are writing to provide additional context regarding our super visa application and to outline the reasons why this application is significantly stronger than our previous temporary resident visa TRV application, which was refused in November 2024 due to the concerns about the financial situation. Since that decision, we have addressed all the concerns to present a more compelling case. And I have provided 4 points here. The number one is enhanced financial resources. So we have significantly, this is not me, this is my father is saying, or my mother is saying, or you can say the applicants are saying, we have significantly improved our financial position. This includes liquidating some of our fixed deposits, receiving a monetary gift from our son Arpit Gupta, who is inviting us to Canada, and collecting pending amounts owed to us by the customers and acquaintances, ensuring our account reflects adequate resources for our purpose of visit. We also hold valuable assets. And then my father was writing some details about dispossessions and the assets. Full documentation is attached to support these claims. Second point is about financial support from hosts, which means we are promising to provide the money to our parents during their stay. Our son and daughter-in-law, Arpit Gupta and Aishi Gupta, have ample funds, these many Canadian dollars, in their Canadian bank accounts to fully sponsor our stay, covering accommodations, food, transport, and any other expenses. A detailed letter of financial support has been provided in a separate section under the proof of funds and along with the proof of their bank balances and stable employment. Third point is about the strong family ties. So we have substantial ties to India, including the ownership. You can say house ownership, property ownership, or anything else, ongoing business operations, and two daughters, ensuring our intentions to return home after our visit. So, here, whatever ties you have to your home country, you can provide that. The fourth point, purpose of visit. The purpose of our visit is family oriented and celebratory, as we plan to spend quality time with Arpin and Ayushi, visiting their home and explore Canadian attractions. We have no intention of overstaying. So these are the 4 points which I provided to challenge the previous visit visa rejection. And then my parents wrote their name and their UCI number as well, because here on this page we are talking about their previous visit visa application. So that's why we wrote the UCI number as well. Okay, so we challenged all the points here. Okay, so this is the summary page for the ties to home country. So to summarize, we have 3 points here. One is home ownership, second one is land property or vehicle ownership, and the third point is about investments. So depending on what ties do you have from your home country, you can provide that information, but this is the format we wrote for this letter. These aspects underline our strong connections and commitments to our home country, India. Given our familial and professional responsibilities, we assure you that our visit to Canada is temporary and we are committed to returning to India on 31st March 2026. All proofs attached under the proof of funds section. We appreciate your consideration of our visa application and assure you of our compliance with all the regulations during our stay in Canada. Name and the date. So if I just scroll up and go back to the first page, So I've shown you the documents until here, until page 4, and after that I provided all the documents which were available to prove the home ties for my father and mother, and at last I provided some documents to prove my home ownership in Canada as well. So so this was all it in the additional documents. And why I thought it was important, because in this additional document we were able to provide the itinerary separately. We were able to uh, emphasized more on the purpose of visit. We were able to tell the IRCC that how we are challenging the previous rejection forms, and and the ties to home country. We provided the documents like the property related documents, or any assets they have back in their home country. So that's why this additional document was helpful. So let's upload that. And since this is the common document, it must be here, SK Gita additional documents. Okay, just minimize this. So you can see that we have now uploaded everything which is required for my father. What I'll do is I can go save and continue, but what I'll do at this point, I'll return to the group table, do the same thing for my mother. Because remember, you cannot assume that if you provide the documents only for your father, ISC will get automatically for your mother as well. No. So this is for my mother's section, and you can see that everything is empty. What I'll do is I will quickly upload each and every documents, and then we'll talk about it later. So yeah, I'm just going to upload the documents very quickly. Okay, so you can see that I have uploaded the documents for my mother as well. And you can see the naming. If the document is common, I'm going to name them as SK Gita. And if it is a separate document for my mother alone, then I'm just writing her name and the type of the document which I'm going to upload there, like this, or like the passport. So if everything is done, click on save and continue. Then the consent. Do you consent to be contacted by CIC? Yes. Oh, okay. So this is the declaration from mother. So Gupta Gita. We have to do the same thing for father as well. And save and continue. So this is done, and we missed this portion for father. Oh, okay. So I have to go to the document section. So previously I missed to fill this for my father. So I'll do that now. This is basically a declaration, you can say. Save and continue. So now you have completed the application form, you have filled all the details, and you have also uploaded all the required documents which is needed for this super visa application, and you have done this separately for your father and mother. And you can see the status. It says complete and complete, and it also says that you will now need to tell us who is the principal applicant, in this grouped visa application. So click on this box and save and continue. You can choose anyone as a principal applicant. It doesn't matter much, I guess. So I'm selecting my father as a principal applicant. Click on save and continue. And then who is the other one? Spouse, because they are husband and wife. You are now ready to pay and submit for the applications. Save and continue. Now this is the visitor visa fees. You have two members. It is $100 each. Save and continue. Now you are prompt on the payment page. What you need to do is you just need to fill this payment form and complete the payment. Once this is done, and that's it. I don't think you need to do anything extra, and your application will be submitted. If not, you will see the option, you will see some option here to submit the application, or maybe to upload the proof of payment page. I don't remember exactly, but that's fairly simple, so you can follow that. And yeah, I think that's all about it. So this was it. We have completely filled the application form for both the applicants. We have also uploaded all the required documents for both the applicants separately. Then in the end, we have also signed the declaration that is also separately for both the applicants. And finally, we have made the payments for this Super Visa application. So this was it, the end of the part 3 and the Super Visa video series. Well, I'm enjoying my time here with my parents right now, and I also wish you the same. Thanks for watching.